Hello. I hope you can hear me. Can you tell me if you can hear me, please? And I hope you can hear me. The chat is okay. So please tell me just if you hear me, if you see me. Because every time the big problem is I don't know. So, okay, sorry. Okay, for the moment, I see that the chat is freezed. So, I don't know if you hear me, if you saw me, if you see me. Please just tell me in order I can start this live YouTube with you. So, I will start to say hello to the people that are there. So, hello Abdelmegid, hello Fabio, hello Joe. Hi Joe. Hello Natalie. Yes, thank you Joe. Thank you Joe. Hello Claudine. Thank you. So you can hear me, you can see me, so everything is okay. Okay, so we will start tonight. I have just to say to you, don't miss that I'm doing English speaking live every first Saturday, every first Friday of the month, and every last Friday of the month, every time the same hour for the moment. And the other thing is, so next week, I think we will have another chat another live in English. I'm not sure because we are the 25th. Yes, I suppose we will have one. Anyway, don't miss that. I am going to Egypt the 9th of July. So I will be it will be not possible for me to do lives during all the months of July because I will be in Egypt. But I think the last Friday of July I will be able. And meantime, when I will be in Egypt, I hope to do very small lives in direct in Egypt when I can, when the connection with the web is possible, because I am going to Fayoum, so it's not very easy to get a good web. It's very complicated to get in order to be able to do lives. But I will do very short live hello or things like this, I hope. So I will be not there during July time, but I hope you will enjoy because I will do a lot of video then and a lot of documents for the year coming. So I hope all will be okay. So hello Marcello. Hi Marcello. So tonight we will speak about the breath of life in ancient Egypt. In the Bible, in our Bible, it is written that God made man out of the dust of the earth. He breathed a breath of life into his nostrils, and man became a living being. This is in Genesis 2:7. To create Adam, the supreme creator of heaven and earth, first formed him out of the very dust of the ground, then breathed his own breath into his nostrils, which set him apart from all the creatures of God. So this is in Genesis. And it is written also that God breathed the breath of life into man. Man is more than dust or his physical substance. It has a spirit. God, the source of life, directly put life in man. Finally, in Genesis 2:7, it is telling us that man became a living being. Now, we find in ancient Veda texts about the breath. I am quoting a text in the Veda Indian text. Homage to the breath that governs the entire universe. Homage to the breath who became the Lord of the world. Homage to the King in which this world has its basis. When the breath made it rain to fertilize plants watering the vast earth, the hearts howl for joy. We will have to eat, they say, in abundance. And the plants, wet with rain, talk with the breath. You have stretched our lifespan. You perfumed us. We will keep your smell in your honor. I greet you, breath, when you arouse the exile. I salute you, breath, at the time of inspiration. Whether you come or go, I greet you with all my being. This body that is so dear to me, it is yours, breath of life. So this is in the Veda from India, a very ancient text. Now, in ancient Egypt, asking for breath or giving breath is often a factor of demands and giving hetep. I will explain to you. It was very normal to ask somebody some breath or to give some breath to somebody during a talk with somebody. And this was meaning that you are demanding or giving breath. It is to say you are demanding or giving hetep. Some people say hotep, but I prefer to say hetep. And this is the peace. So the breath is assimilated to the peace. You are giving the breath to somebody, so you are giving the peace to somebody. You are asking for breath, so you are asking for peace. It is also an offering, of course. There is also breathing in the context of man-divine relationship and in the afterlife. Breathing indicates the establishment of a hetep, a relationship. So it is harmony, it is a peaceful relationship, which is a relationship based on the mat action that produces hetep, the peace. So the mat action, the nature mat, which is the harmony in action, is producing the breath, is producing the hetep. It is to say the peace and the breath. So the ankh, the key of life, is one of the most recognizable symbols of ancient Egypt, known as the key of life or cross of life, as you know, and dating at least from the early dynastic period, circa 3150 before Christ. And it is, as you know, a cross with the loop at the top, sometimes decorated with symbols or decorative flourishes, but more often simply a plain gold cross. The symbol is an Egyptian hieroglyph for life or breath of life. It is, in ancient Egyptian, it is nakh. And nakh is equated to ankh. But the writing and the good pronunciation is nakh. And as the Egyptians believed that the earth's journey was only a part of eternal life, the ankh symbolizes to both mortal existence and the hereafter. It is one of the oldest symbols of Egypt, often seen with the jade, and was as symbol worn by a multitude of Egyptian netcheru in tomb paintings and inscriptions, and worn by the Egyptian as an amulet, and also today. So the origin of ankh is unknown. Egyptologists like Sir Alan Gardiner believed it developed from a tongue sandal strap with the top loop around the ankle and the vertical post attached to a sole at the toe. You will say today a flip-flop sandal. And Gardiner came to his conclusion because the Egyptian word for sandal was nakh. It is to say the ankh, the key of life, which came from the same root as ankh, and moreover, because the sandal was part of the daily life of Egyptians, and the ankh symbol has come to symbolize life. Also because thanks to this sandal, you can go forward. And, in ancient Egypt, also in Egypt today, you can't walk barefoot because the sand is so hot that it is boiling your skin, so you can't go barefoot. So the sandal is very important symbol of life and also of action, of going into the life. The theory of Egyptologist Wallis Budge, which claims that it originated from the belt buckle of the goddess Isis, is considered more likely, but still not universally accepted. Wallis Budge equated the ankh with the tiyat, the chai, you can pronounce it very differently, the knot of Isis. I will show you just, I am not, so this is a sandal of Pharaoh. Okay, so if you put, I can't show you at the reverse, but it is exactly the ankh, in fact. And the tiyat of Isis, I am not sure I have it there, but you can see it on the web anyway. And it is like, oh my God, I don't know how to say that in English, but you will see on the web. So the tiyat, it is the knot of Isis, a ceremonial belt supposed to represent the female genitalia and symbolize fertility. This theory of the origin of ankh from a fertility symbol is consistent with its meaning throughout the history of ancient Egypt and beyond to the present day. The tiyat, or knot of Isis, or blood of Isis, in hieroglyphic is an Egyptian sacred symbol associated with, of course, the goddess Isis. It looks like an ankh, or a sign of the cross of life, whose horizontal bar on each side is turned down. The tiyat usually represented along the ankh and the jet pillar, and it becomes during the New Kingdom, it is to say recently, as a symbol of the strength of Isis and of her magic, because it is with the help of the knots of a cord that Isis gave life to Osiris, as mentioned in the text of the pyramids. I am quoting the text of the pyramids. Isis and Nephthys used their magic on you with the knots of a cord in the city of Sais. A common protective amulet placed beside or on mummies. The amulet is most often made of red jasper, the color of Isis' blood. It has protective power, as mentioned in the formula 156 of the Book of the Dead. Well, I don't like this title, as you know. It is a book of coming to the light, which is totally different. I am quoting this book. You have your blood, Isis. You have your charms, Isis. You have your magic, Isis. The amulet is a protection of the great god who represses the one who causes him harm. And Anubis or Isis are often seen to place ankh, the ankh, the key of life, against the soul leaps in the afterlife to revitalize it. It is for this reason that ankh figures so prominently in the paintings and inscription of the tombs. Deities such as Anubis or Isis are often seen placing the ankh against the lips of the soul in the afterlife to revitalize it and open that soul to an afterlife, to a life after the death. The goddess Maat is frequently depicted holding an ankh in each hand, and the Osiris is gripping the ankh in a number of tomb paintings. The ankh's association with the afterlife and the gods has made it a prominent symbol on coffins for amulets placed in the tomb and on sarcophagi. The Egyptologist Wolfhard Westendorf supports Wallis Budge's claim by noting the similarity of the ankh to the jet and the use of the two symbols from an early date in the history of Egypt. Ankh has always been associated with life, the promise of eternal life, the sun, fertility, and light. And also, there is a researcher named Adele Nostar, and she writes, I am quoting her, "The volume of meaning that can be extracted from such a simple symbol is impressive. The ankh represents the male and female genitalia, the sun coming to the horizon, and the union of heaven and earth. This association with the sun means that the ankh is traditionally drawn in gold, the color of the sun, and never in silver, which relates to the moon." So if you go to Egypt in a tour and you buy ankh in silver, this is very wrong, my friends. You have to buy it in gold, or bronze, but not silver. Putting aside the complexity of these separate elements, what does ankh look like? Its resemblance to a K gives a clue to another meaning of this magical symbol. The Egyptians believed that the afterlife was as significant as the present day, and that the ankh provided the key to the gates of death and what lay beyond. Moreover, the association of the ankh with the afterlife made it particularly powerful symbol for the Coptic Christians of Egypt in the 4th century, who took it for their own. Until today, you can see a tattoo on the skin of the Coptic people of Egypt with the ankh in tattoo on the arms, in the hand, wherever. This use of the ankh as a symbol of Christ's promise of eternal life through belief in his sacrifice and resurrection is most likely at the root of Christian use of the cross as symbol of faith today. Many Egyptian gods are depicted holding the ankh, but most often Isis. Over time, Isis became the most popular nature in Egypt, and all other Netcheru were seen as mere aspects of this most powerful and comprehensive deity. The cult of Isis promised eternal life through personal resurrection, in the same way that Isis had saved her husband Osiris from death. She could also save those who had placed their trust in her. The ankh's association with such a powerful nature gave it greater significance in that it was now specifically related to the great goddess who could save her soul and provide for one in the afterlife. During the days of Old Kingdom, the ankh was well established as a powerful symbol of eternal life. Old Kingdom is about 2613 to 2181 before Christ. The dead were called Ankhu with the ankh. Okay, it is to say Ankhu, the dead people, means for the ancient Egyptian having life, or the alive. This is strange, no? And coffins and sarcophagi regularly adorned with the symbol were known as Neb Ankh. It is to say possessing life. So the Neb Ankh, the coffin and sarcophagi, were known as possessing life. During the Middle Kingdom, it is to say 2040 until 1782 before Christ, the word Nakh was used for mirrors, and a number of hand mirrors were created in the form of the ankh. The most famous being found in Tutankhamun tombs. The association of the ankh with the mirror was not accidental. The Egyptians believed that the afterlife was a mirror image of life on earth. So they were believing that the afterlife was a mirror image of life on earth, and that mirrors contained magical properties. During the Lantern Festival for the goddess Neis, another nature seen with the ankh, all of Egypt burned oil lamps all night long to reflect the stars in the water, in the sky, and create a mirror image of the heavens on earth. This was done to help separate the veil between the living and the dead, so that one could speak to those friends and relatives who had passed through heaven in the reed field. Mirrors were often used for divination purpose also from the Middle Empire. The ankh was also a popular amulet that was worn in life and worn in the grave, as I told you. And I will quote somebody now, but hello, Susan. Hello, Katia. Hello, Marcello. Well, I continue. I want to quote an historian. She is Margaret Bunson, and she writes called Wei Chao. Amulets were made of metal, wood, earthenware, terracotta, or stone, and were believed to contain magical powers, providing the wearer with the supernatural benefits and charms. The potential power of the amulet was determined by the original material, color, shape, or spell. The living Egyptians wore amulets as pendants, and the deceased had amulets placed in their linen envelopes in their coffins. Different styles of amulets have been used in different times and for different purposes. Some have been carved as sacred symbols in order to attract the attention of particular deity, thus ensuring the intercession and intervention of the nature on behalf of the wearer. During the New Kingdom, it's to say around 1570 before Christ, when the worship of the god Amun increased in power and stature, the ankh became associated with him. The ankh was regularly used in temple ceremonies during this time and became associated with the worship of Amun and kingship. Now I want to quote the scholar Jack Tressider, and he writes about the ankh. Its form has been variously understood as the sun rising over the horizon, as the union of man and woman or other opposites, and also as a key to esoteric knowledge and the hereafter spirit. And the Coptic Church in Egypt inherited the ankh as a form of the Christian cross, symbolizing eternal life through Christ. But in fact, now I am not quoting, I am speaking myself, but in fact, to talk to you about the breath of life, I must first speak about the kiss. Because for the ancient Egyptians, the kiss by the breath exchanged between two people concealed the most important thing for humanity, the force of life in all its splendor and awakening to knowledge, truth, and reality. The kiss gives the fluid of life. It revives and restores consistency to our divine part that is always linked to heaven and to our immortality. It is the fluid of life and its protection, the Sa. I will show you the Sa, because I think I have the picture. Okay, this is the Sa. So the Sa the invisible force of the fluid of life about which the ancient Egyptians speak to us on each of their monuments. Kissing mouth to mouth and the touch of the palm of the hand along the back of the neck, that with that we can animate someone. The Sa symbolized the protection of the young life. The Sa was an ancient symbol meaning protection. I am quoting an ancient text. He came to you, O great of magic. It is about Horus. By the protection of his eye, the great of magic, and for some originally, it depicted a rich harvest representing a bundle of papyrus tied. Originally, depending on the level of culture that you had, a representation of a papyrus carpet coiled up under which people far from home could have taken shelter. It was a loop of papyrus stems used by boatmen as a floating device. It was in any case a general symbol of protection since the most ancient times. I am showing you again. In fact, it is a bent papyrus. And but the Sa loop was earlier, a fish mouth giving birth to fertile water. And by extension, this is what the ancient Egyptians said, and by extension, life across the country. The Sa was mostly associated with the dwarf god Bes and the crocodile nature Taweret, two protective deities. It is often used in conjunction with symbols, especially the ankh, was, jet signs. We often find Taweret, and you can say also Taurt, with the Sa symbol. I can show you. This is Taweret, and she's wearing a Sa symbol. And I think I have another picture of Taweret. Oh, no. Maybe another place. I have so many pictures. We can find maybe. No. Okay. No problem. Anyway, you have one photo. And Taweret is very protective nature. You know, all the nature, 64 nature are all, how can I say that, are all representatives of all the different strengths of God, the different forces of God, the diverse energies he used to make the creation. And they are not deities, they are not God or goddess, they are energies in the name of God, which is totally different. And this is due to very bad translation in the past, you know. So, we often find Taweret, the hippopotamus nature of childbirth, resting her paw on the Sa sign. And the worship center of Taweret is the temple of Thebes and Deir el-Bahari. And she's mainly protector of the pregnant woman and infants. And also she's the protector of rebirth and in the hereafter. What she... Hello, Claudie. Hello, Alessia. Good evening. Hello, Zakaria. How are you, Zakaria? Hello. So, so from then, and this person will find himself renewed in his energy of life and will be animated. Not only because the word animated is with the word nach, which is the brace and the ankh, you know. So all is connected, not only for physical health, but also for spiritual health, healing at all levels, the general harmonization of being. For the energy of cosmic life passes through our braces. In the kiss for the ancient Egyptians, it is the brace which are exchanged, which is the most important. These mixed braces are a gift of life, a gift of the universal vital fluid, the Sa, which is a sacred magical protection by its origin. This re-energizing fluid of life is life force itself. That is to say, a mixture of ankh and ka. And it is at the origin of all Egyptian worship and its philosophy. Everywhere on the obelisk and the facades of the temples, one sees this word, animated by the vital fluid, by the kiss of life. And because fact of importance, the objects too can be charged with this fluid of life once embraced. If you embrace an object, it is getting the fluid of life, your brace and the brace of the universe, through his brace. Kissing objects makes them exist on a sacred plane. Living beings permeate, as Teilhard de Chardin said, what surrounds them, what they come in contact with. There is an interaction of force fields. It was Aristotle who said, I call matter the first substrate. In ancient Greek, it is hypokeimenon. And he said, matter is the substrate of change. And the Sufis in Egypt explain that the cosmic brace is an electric current passes through the circuit of our body. And we see on the pillar of Karnak the god Ptah embracing Sesostris first. So I will show you this photo. I will show you the photo of Sesostris and Ptah. So there you get Ptah on the left, embracing the pharaoh, Sesostris first, and you see the keys of life. And you see also the position of the hand on the neck and the back of the neck of Ptah. So when you see that, he transmits the fluid of life to him. Is not a sexual kissing, okay? It's completely different. The Occidentals have also very wrong this thing, you know, because it's not in any case related to sexual action. This is the exchange of breath of life. Because of course, the more this fluid comes from a being pure and powerful in energy, the more it has the capacity to revive you. For me, it is the exchange of breath by kissing a corollary of the famous and very long funeral ceremony of opening the mouth, which allowed the deceased to keep his vital functions, or rather to give him back his 5 meaning for the afterlife, and which was also practiced on statues. Because any action on our earthly plan immediately has the same repercussions. In the other word, hence the usefulness for the ancient Egyptians to practice simulacra of things on earth, so they are accomplished in the heavens, in particular for their deceased. They followed to the letter the famous phrase that we find later in the Emerald Tablet, the Emerald Tables of Hermes Trismegistus, and a good number of Arabic manuscripts of the 6th century, then in Latin and French, but whose origin is traced back to Thoth in Egypt, the first Hermes, the first Thoth, Tehuti. What is below is like what is above, and what is above is like what is below, to work miracles in one thing. We still find little representation of this kiss, apart from those, among others, of Sesostris first with Ptah that I showed you. We have also that of Niachum and Hnumhotep from 2400 before Christ on the wall of their tomb next to their wives and children, but which made speculation on their sexuality while it has nothing to do. And the keys, so I can show you these keys, and once again, it has nothing to do with some sexual action. The two, in fact, are brothers, and they are with all their families and wives and children, and they make an exchange of breath of life for the life after days. So it's very sacred. There is also the kiss of the Queen Candace of Sudan with the goddess Amesimi, where we see small ankh out of the mouth of the goddess, but others will surely see the light of the day. Other artifacts of the representations of that kiss of life. So there is so much still to excavate and discover, of course. So the ancient Egyptian kiss we are talking about here is made up of 3 stages. The embrace, where we take each other in the arms. It's like a hug, okay? And more exactly, a hand at the bend of the elbow, like this, then the palm of the hand on the neck of the one we are revives, and finally the kiss near the mouth, very near the mouth each other. The fact of giving a hug before the kiss itself seems important. At the moment of the creation of the world, Atum embraces Shu and Tefnut to transmit to them his Ka, his divine double, his divine fluid of life. Embrace the king, so that the Ka will remain there forever. Tell us the text of the pyramids. So it's very, very important. The ancient Egyptians, like other very ancient civilizations, well knew that the breath in its vital dimension is the one that truly, energetically nourishes us. For that reason, it's very important to breathe correctly, as you know. And, you know, the moment we are going through is very difficult. We need to breathe very correctly. It's very important. And the keys served as a receptacle for this exchange of breaths, where the life force of the two people strengthens each other. And this, of course, reminds us of the prana, which in Sanskrit is the breath, and therefore the pranayama, which is in the Kaushitaki Upanishad, third adhyaya, the extension of the force of life, the breath of life. And we find the same thing in the Sufi teachings, which endure in Egypt today. They say, the Sufi said, life is breath, breath is life, immortality is breath, breath is immortality. By the same breath you obtain immortality in other worlds and dimensions. The breath, according to the ancient Egyptian, is a breath inside the soul. Breath is a way to touch the soul of the other. The shortest connection to the soul is the breath and the kiss, as I show you. So, my friends, I just finished tonight. I hope you enjoyed. And the next live in English, every live in English is the first Friday of the month, the last Friday of the month, same time. And I hope you will enjoy. Please comment, please put likes, because as you know, I did so much work for my French followers that I neglected my English followers from 10 years ago, that now I am reconquering English-speaking people. So please help me to do that, and please register to my YouTube channel and make comments and likes. And I hope to see you very soon. And I just wanted to tell you too that in July, during starting the second week of July, I will be in Egypt until the end of the month. I hope to give you a live in English at the end of the month of July. But between, I hope to do very small live in Egypt, because the web is very bad where I am going. But some hellos, and so you can watch my YouTube channel anyway. So my friends, thank you to the people who is helping me to moderate this chat. Thank you to Deus, thank you to Cece, and have a very good night, my friends, and see you very soon. Take care of you. It's very important nowadays. Thank you very much, and bye.